Hi, everyone. This is Rosemary. Thank you for being here tonight. We are once again presenting the Healer's Journey. This time the topic is a little different. And again, I had trouble with calling this topic something in particular and came up with, excuse me, I have questions. Because one of the most profound things I find from clients and students is all the questions that people have. Questions about purpose and role in life and, gee, what choices do I make? And so, excuse me, I have questions feels appropriate for this time. And I just wanted to say, if you haven't already done so, you can review our previous webinars in the Healer's Journey Learning Series. Just make sure you're on my list, secondnaturehealing.com/webinar.html. And when you do that, you should be receiving all of the webinars in the series that you can listen to listen to as often as you like. And I just want to give you a brief summary of where we've been so far. So in our first webinar, we talked about your story, the being able to recognize yourself as a healer. And your story might have included experiences and interactions that showed empathy, sensitivity, understanding, and knowledge in all aspects of life, and your love of animals and the planet, your love of being in nature and feeling connected to earth energies that support your well-being. So that was the first one. In the second webinar, we talked about magic, medicine, and miracles. We didn't have so much time for miracles, so we focused on magic and medicine, and we discussed about bringing to mind talents and gifts that you have. In the third one, we spent more time talking about what miracles are and discovering that miracles are normal, everyday occurrences. Last week, in the fourth webinar, we presented the idea of vibration, that everything vibrates. We can raise and lower our vibration, and these changes can improve or damage our health. Now, before we started, we were just chatting about one aspect in that webinar last week about being a thought adjuster, and how if we are raising our vibration and beginning to think a little differently, that we might be thought adjusters. We might have a positive influence or a way to interact with people to get them to open up a little, maybe see things a different way. And that's really what this is all about. Pardon me. And today we focus on our journey as light beings in physical form, and the questions we ponder as we move forward. As we continue with the Healer's Journey, we explore the idea that we have questions and are in a constant state of seeking answers. So through the course of the next half hour, I hope you'll resonate with some of the questions presented here and know that you're not alone. In addition, I hope you'll want to continue to move forward with your healing abilities and to use them with more intention and purpose. At the end of the presentation, I'll share with you a few tools to help you get started, as well as a chance to learn more. And I believe I'll be following up next week with another webinar in the Healer's Journey series to touch upon another aspect of what it means to be a healer in today's world and offer additional tools for you to integrate. There's always an opportunity to reach out for personal mentorship, supportive classes, or intuitively guided healing sessions. And I'll share with you how to do that at the end of this webinar. Okay, are you ready? Let's get started. As I said last week, rather than reading a disclaimer, I decided to proclaim your intentions and power. The information, thoughts, and ideas presented here honor your intentions to empower you with natural choices that support personal well-being, conveyed with compassion, truth, and openness. Our intention is to help you see beyond the filters of disclaimers which tend to support a one-sided approach to the health industry. We also proclaim that we are whole, vibrant beings in physical form and maintain sovereignty to nourish, support, and empower our lives with divine gifts and a natural ability to heal. The healer of the future will have traveled the path of healers. Through experience, knowledge, and divine guidance, the healer of the future will interest individuals in the care of their energy bodies, the energy of the planet, and their alignment to higher vibrations. Now, we did talk about that last week. I wanted to include it again because it feels important to me that this is really who we are and where we're going. Everybody's seen Star Wars, right? You know who that is? That's Yoda. He says, "Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. You must feel the force around you, here, between you, me, the tree, the rock, everywhere. Yes." And I started thinking about that quote. How long ago was that movie made, right? It was in the 80s?
But that one was 80.
1980. Yeah, luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. So I thought that would be important for us to connect to who we really are. We are luminous beings, and we must feel the force around us, because the force, of course, is that vibration, that divine connection that we have to Earth, trees, rocks, everywhere, as well as the universe, the cosmos. And I put my glossary back in. This glossary has 3 terms. Be impeccable with your word. The force created through everything we express, our intent. Be impeccable with your word. If you're familiar with a book called The 4 Agreements, this is the first agreement. This is the most powerful agreement, that the word, what is the word? The word is our intent. Be impeccable. In other words, speaking your truth. If you look up the origins of impeccable, impeccable is sin, impeccable means without sin. So if you are speaking your words with truth, with positive intent, with happiness and joy and all of the things that go with impeccable, then you have a very powerful tool. And we teach in our classes, your most powerful tool is your intention. And the second word is truth. And truth is, it's interesting. When I was working with these words earlier, I was having trouble dividing truth from belief. Now, truth is an agreement of facts. And you can even get into scientific truth, right? You can even go into, let's look at molecules, let's look at the periodic table of elements, let's look at these things that people consider to be facts. But the word truth has its origin in Old English, which means faithfulness. So there's an element of truth that really cannot be defined because it isn't really based on facts. It's based on feeling like something is true or the nature of truth. Books have been written about truth, and here I only have a couple of little lines about it. So I just wanted to bring up the idea of truth. And finally, in our glossary, belief. Belief is a combination of truths and emotions that guide our actions. Belief, I've written about this. It's at least one chapter and more in one of my upcoming books. But belief has also been written about by Dr. Bruce Lipton. He wrote a book called The Biology of Belief, and I may have mentioned that on a previous webinar. But knowing that a person can believe something is true, and then everything they do will be in alignment with that belief that they believe is true. And what if it's not true? Kind of doesn't matter, because they believe it's true. Believing is something that is very strong, and it does guide our actions. So we're always in search of answers. It's one of the most common things I have is lots of questions as people come to me. So I thought I'd put down some of these questions. Where did they go? There. Where am I going? Why is it important to heal? Somebody actually asked me that. Are we chosen, or do we choose to become healers? How can I be successful, feel safe, and communicate my truth? Who walks with me on my journey? What tools do I need to have in order to do this work? What's my responsibility? Big questions, huh? The person who asked me, why is it important to heal? She's actually a business coach, and she was trying to get me to come to some sort of realization. And she herself is not well. She was recently diagnosed with something nobody wants, but 50% of us seem to get. And her question, why is it important to heal? And I thought, you know, it's really not so important to heal, but it's important for us to have the opportunity to choose to heal. And that's really what this is all about, is we are expressing the idea that we don't have to do anything. We don't have to be on a journey. We don't have to claim responsibilities. We don't have to communicate our truth. But if we do, if we choose to do so, we accept these opportunities as challenges to grow, to become more of who we are. And so when people ask me questions, I don't give them answers. And it really doesn't serve anybody to receive an answer. But it's much more important for a person to feel like they are able to discover their own truth, discover their own path, find their own tools, and realize what their own responsibility is. Because of choices and because of opportunities. You see, everything is a choice. So what happens when someone is faced with circumstances that require a decision? And the truth is that we have opportunities to decide every moment what to eat, what to do, what to buy or not buy, say or not say, for example. They're like practice for the big decisions, the life changers. So let's say we're talking about sports, all right? Coaches say that we play like we practice. So if the kids go out and play soccer, for example, and they're practicing and they're putting their all into it and they're developing their strategy, they're developing their muscles and their skills and their intuitive ability to be where they think the ball is going to be next, and then they go out and play, they're ready for the big game, right? For when the opposing team is out there instead of the other half of their classmates or their teammates for their game. They've got their opposing team out there. Okay, now they can really play the game because they've practiced, right? So we play like we practice. In life, we do the same thing. So even the smallest decisions can have the biggest consequences, because if we're going about our life day to day making choices and taking on opportunities, then we're practicing for other things. We're developing our skills. So whether it's relationships and love, education, money, health, where to live, jobs, priorities, purpose, marriage, and activities, all of these and many, many more are opportunities for us to learn, grow, and step further along the path toward awareness of our illuminated self. Remember what Yoda said, we are luminous beings, not this crude matter. So how do we express ourselves as light-embodied beings? How do we connect more fully to a higher vibration while staying in physical form? How do we do that? For the person who is faced with a life-threatening disease, for example, if they'd always relied on modern medicine, maybe they'll do that. So the person who is diagnosed with a serious illness that I mentioned earlier, how is she practicing her game of life? How is she doing things? If she gets sick, does she go to the doctor all the time? Is she grabbing the bottle of medicine? Is she relying on somebody to fix her? Okay, if that's how she's practicing, then when she's ready to play the big game, when the big stuff counts, everything that she's been doing up to now will influence her decisions, her choices. So how can we then express ourselves? I'll go back to these questions. How do we express ourselves as light-embodied beings, and how do we connect more fully to a higher vibration while staying in physical form? These questions will help bring the answer of how we make our choices, how we grab these opportunities, and be able to make decisions that will serve us. One answer may be found in grounding, connecting to earth energies. Now I say this, and you might be thinking, grounding? Well, of course we want to ground ourselves. Or maybe if you're not used to grounding, you might say, grounding, what is that? But grounding is something we do to connect to earth energies. We want to feel like we are in physical form, because we are. We made the choice to be here in physical form. So it's our primary objective to be present, to eat the foods that are grounding foods, natural and processed, to drink purified water, to sleep well, to care for your physical body, because all of these things are important, because they're the vibration that is holding the higher vibration, your illuminated self. So the natural tendency for people who are on this path of becoming a healer, the natural tendency is to reach up, right? People want to learn how to meditate. They reach up for guidance. They pray, they think, And they may feel like it brings us closer to our goal, accepting ourselves as luminous beings, right? Always going up. Well, I will tell you that the more we try to leave, in other words, the more we try to go up, the more we try to get into that higher vibration of the illuminated self, of the netherland, this, this ethereal theta kind of vibration in the brain, the more you do that, the harder the work becomes, unless you are grounded. And so this is one of the most important things that I can share with you at all, ever, because I do meet a lot of people who are saying, oh, but I want to learn how to meditate. I want to learn how to do what you do. I want to develop my psychic abilities. I want to talk to my guides. I want to know who my guides are. I want to be psychic. I want to communicate with animals. You see where I'm going with this? They want to do all that stuff now. They want to do it now. And okay, sure, but if you do it now and you're not grounded first, it's going to be very difficult. The people who are off reaching up and doing that kind of vibration work find themselves a little bit disconnected from their physical body. They may show signs of being unwell in some way, or not sleeping, because they're always being interrupted in their dreams. They're always being awakened because they haven't set any boundaries of what their physical body needs. I know, I've been there. I know, if you invite in spirit guides, and if you invite in higher vibrations and you're ready to do this work and you've got your crystal next to your bed and you're going, they'll wake you up. That's no fun when they wake you up. They wake you up because you're receptive. Okay, so you want to be receptive, but you want to set your boundaries. You want to have your own terms, your own time. And trust me that when you do this work properly, by being grounded first, by being in your physical form, you will be much more able to be luminous in your physical body. And this is where we're going. This is what the healer's journey is all about. This is kind of like the climax of everything we've been talking about so far, because we are on a path of moving forward with a new dimension, with a new way of thinking, with a new way of being, because it's so needed. It's just a different world out there now. So we have to be the ones to be here, grounded, connected to earth energies, and hold the vibration of being luminous at the same time. It's not an either or. It's both together. Now, if that's the only thing you heard today, keep that one close to your heart. What is grounding? What tools are available to you as illuminated healers to become more grounded? And how can you use these tools to step into your power as illuminated healers? There are some tuning forks that are actually very grounding. If you've been here and you've used my tuning forks, you know that Om is the vibration of earth, and Ut, you've heard of Do, Re, Mi. This is Ut, Re, Mi. And Ut is the grounding fork for the root chakra. It has a vibration of 396 hertz. And with that, you're able to hear the sound of Ut and feel the vibration of Ut in your body. And so it has a very grounding feel to it, a very grounding sound to it, a very harmonious sound. There are essential oils that are grounding. Usually the root oils, ginger, vetiver, and others. Also the ones, the very strong smelling ones that kind of jump into the air, basil, oregano, and thyme, are all very grounding essential oils. Also tree essential oils like black spruce and frankincense have a very grounding feeling. So if you are feeling like you're too much in your head, you've been meditating too much, and you want to come back, use your oil first. Put it on the bottom of your feet, put it on the back of your neck. You can anoint your temples, you can anoint your crown, you can anoint the palms of your hands, put it anywhere you want on the body. Use it in a diffuser. So all of these are ways in which you can use essential oils for grounding specifically. There are also grounding crystals. This one here is a red jasper. It looks like a brachiated red jasper. And hematite is another grounding crystal. Tourmaline, especially black tourmaline, is a very grounding crystal. So if you want to create space in your home that feels grounding, or sleep with this grounding feeling, put some tourmaline under your bed. Put hematite in your pocket. Wear red jasper and feel protected, feel grounded, feel safe in your body. Let crystals do some of the work for you. Let essential oils do some of the work for you. Let tuning forks do some of the work for you so that they can work on a vibrational tone that is not necessarily in your conscious awareness. And of course, we have classes that cover every level of Reiki, and as I've said this before, Michelle and I are very excited to begin our new integrative program of Illumination Reiki. I think what you're going to like the most about Illumination Reiki is that we focus on being in your physical body and being illuminated healers at the same time. We teach you how to do that. We have a program that is ready to launch that includes certification that will feel different than anything you've ever done before. We're very excited about bringing that forward for you. Where will your path lead you? It won't lead you anywhere you don't want to go, because remember, everything is a choice. You may choose to be on this path with illuminated healers. You may choose to seek out, as we were talking before the webinar started, you were talking about researching and preparing a speak or a presentation for your colleagues, and going down that path, becoming more aware of something and then going with it. That's part of the joy, the experience of living, right? So we here have an opportunity right now to be in physical form and to be illuminated healers and to move forward on that path, incorporating all the tools, all the energies that we come across that feel in alignment with that vibration. The best way to reach me, of course, is through my website, secondnaturehealing.com, or you can email me, rosemary@secondnaturehealing.com, and my phone number is on my website. You can also, everybody on the call tonight is registered for my webinar. If you are seeing this webinar online and you are not registered for it, you'll want to go to secondnaturehealing.com/webinar.html and get personal invitations to join us. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I am going to stop the recording and open it for questions.